What was your experience, cost, recovery, long-term results, with LASIK? Before surgery, I was one of those people who had to pick up the alarm clock to see what time it was without my glasses. 11 years later and my vision is still slightly better than 2020. I have a lifetime guarantee that if my vision ever changes enough that I need glasses to drive, they will do a second round of surgery no charge, so I get a checkup annually. Recovery was pretty easy. I think I slept about 20 hours straight afterward and was cleared to drive the next day. I had a minor allergic reaction to the lubricating eye drops that I had to use for a couple of weeks after, but that's it. My sister had PRK surgery 2 weeks ago, and from what I've seen, recovery is much slower and more painful. She was cleared to drive yesterday. I wasn't a candidate for LASIK, but I got the ICL surgery, which basically is a permanent contact lens that they implant into my eye. The cost was a little more than my fiancé's LASIK procedure in the same office, but again, I wasn't a candidate for that, so I was willing to pay. Recovery was easy. I slept off the surgery meds for a couple hours and went to a Halloween party the same night. A couple of follow-up appointments so they could check my pressure levels and the placement of the lenses. This was only last October, but I can't stress how awesome it is to be able to see without glasses or contacts. I'm getting LASIK done tomorrow morning. I guess I can't speak for anything besides cost right now. It was $4,600 because I'm paying cash. Otherwise it's $5,900 full price. Had LASIK in 2014 same as everyone else, 5 minutes and it was done. Recovered in 24 hours or less. Only issues so far are dry eyes in the morning, worth it for not needing glasses. I had 2600ths vision before and a slight complication with my left eye. It's probably 20/30ths now. Part of it was that it was the worst vision of my eyes and was harder to fix. Other part was aggressively making out with my now partner the next day and his nose kept hitting my eye. Also worth it. My right eye is 20/15, so it's not a huge deal. Cost about 4,000 Canadian dollars. I paid up front as I hate payment plans. It hurt and I did the version where it takes longer to recover because my chances of success with the 24-hour version were low. I had to stay in a dark room for 5 days, listen to audiobooks, and then wore sunglasses a bunch. But then I got better quickly and I was super happy. I got it done in 2014 at age 26 and it's been the greatest thing ever. I had no issue other than red eyes for a few weeks, but I can still see great and it was easy, and painless. I paid $4,800, put half down up front and then paid the rest out interest-free at $100 per month for 2 years. I had dry eyes prior to surgery which made it really difficult for me to wear contacts, so I used dailies and had to sometimes switch out 2 pairs in one day because they would just fall out of my eyes. So I was spending about $75 a month on contacts anyway. Way better costing for me, and a lifetime guarantee that if my eyes slip, I can get the surgery again for free. Best thing ever. I went to do LASIK but opted for another procedure called Smile, which has a faster recovery time, is quicker and less, they still funk around with your eyes, invasive. That was about 3 years ago now. I was 21, had super bad eyes. The recovery was pretty good, just a lot of eye drops and I didn't sleep that well for a few days. 3 years on my eyes are excellent. The only difference from before to now is that my eyes are super sensitive to sunlight, which is a good thing, so I always have to wear sunnies. On private health insurance it was about $3,000 AUD. Best thing I ever did. I don't miss my glasses. Got laser eye surgery almost 1 year ago, was a great experience. You need to put in lots of eye drops after for about a week, but then it's just the lubricating drops. I found that my eyes were super dry in the morning for the first few months, but the gel lubricating drops made a huge difference. Would definitely recommend to those who have really bad vision. I got PRK. Long healing process, good outcome though. I had super dry eyes beforehand, so I constantly had those preservative-free tubes, haha. My sis got LASIK. Her eyes were so bad, -6.50 I think. And her healing process was a breeze, still never has any complaints now, and sees great. Makes life so much easier all around. Don't have to worry about planning your days around your contacts. Both were about $4,000. Doc told me I'll need reading classes around age 40, but all good, so worth it. I love my results. The process was easy and the quality of life improvement is indescribable. I just had LASIK done a month and it is the best decision I ever made. I paid around €900 in Spain, and was seeing crystal clear the next day. My vision was so bad I couldn't even recognize a person standing in front of me, and now I wake up every day feeling shocked at how good I can see. The operation itself wasn't painful at all, just uncomfortable, and I felt zero pain during the recovery, just a bit of dryness. When it comes to recovery, it really depends on the person and the severity of the operation, and because I went to a more high-end clinic, I believe there was less pain during and post-operation. It's important to be very picky about who performs the surgery, because choosing somewhere a bit more expensive and fancy means more top-of-the-line equipment and surgeons. Very worth it. I didn't read all the comments, so I'm not sure if it's been said. I could smell my cornea being burned. I needed a lot of reshaping. Recovery was no problem. I did have a small blood vessel burst on my eyeball due to the suction, but it was just ugly for about a week. For about 6 months, when I looked at lights at night, the light diffused into a starburst. I had very dry eyes when I wore contacts, and getting LASIK helped with that immensely. It's amazing. I used to not be able to see more than a foot from my face. Now I have the best vision out of everyone I know. I'm terrified of people touching my eyes, their eyes, other people's eyes. But I was able to remain calm, and luckily the doctors and my friends told me all the scary parts, so I knew they were coming and was less scared. 1. You go blind for a bit when they take off that outer layer. It's totally normal. 2. The suction cup is a lot of pressure on your eye, more than is comfortable but not painful. This is also normal. 3. It smells. Can't really describe it, but there is a definite burning smell that you know is your eye, and it's kinda freaky, but this is also normal. If you're on the fence, I cannot recommend it enough. Had it in 2006. It was covered by my health insurance at the time. No regrets, only that I didn't do it sooner. Best thing I did for myself, 9 years ago. Had -5.5, was always wearing glasses or contacts, was blind as a bat without them, e.g. didn't recognize people's faces. Vision was clear the same evening. For about a year my eyes were dry, sometimes really dry, and I still use moisturizing eye drops every day, but it's significant other worth it. The quality of life has improved tremendously. Eyesight is such an important thing. Being able to see clearly and not bother with where did I put my glasses or if I'm running out of contacts is the best. I recommend 400%. Make sure you shop around. After my first consultation they told me it would be $5,500. I told them that was out of my budget and I may call back after consultations with X and Y. They immediately told me they could do it for $3,200 instead, so I booked it. Also came with lifetime corrections. The first day after surgery my eyes were sore, so I just rested, but the day after that I was good to go. It's been a year and a half. No regrets, still great vision. Only problems I have is if I forget my sunglasses, it makes my eyes sore. But that's it. Definitely worth it. Shop around. Had LASIK over 20 years ago. Don't regret it, but one eye is now getting blurry. Can't wear contacts to correct it either. Eye doctor says surgery makes it difficult for some people later. I had LASIK done around 2006. Loved it. I was warned by DRS that even with LASIK the normal aging process still occurs and one might need work done in the latter years. My eyes are still good and we shall see. I think it's totally worth it. Best thing I've ever done. My grandmother had it in, I believe, the early 2000s, whenever it first became well known enough that people really started hearing about LASIK, and it lasted her 10-ish years before she needed glasses again. She would have been well into her 70s when she needed glasses again, so it didn't seem worth redoing. Cost just under $3,000 for LASIK with Contora, APX. 15 months ago, plus $80 in prescription eye drops. Would have been another $1,000 to get the company's insurance policy on the surgery. Recovery was fine. The first 2 days looking at screens was rough and I had no hand-eye coordination. After 2 weeks I was completely back to normal. I just had mild dry eye. Now my vision is 20/20 and I occasionally have blurry vision for 10 to 20 minutes when I first wake up or get slight dry eye after an unusually long day in front of the computer, 12 hours workday. I'm a LASIK technician. Ask me your questions. As for the procedure, it's pretty quick and easy. Recovery should be nearly immediate. You won't regret your decision. Biggest waste of money in my opinion. I don't remember a ton of details about the procedure because it was a turbo-shot time in my life, but I remember the optometrist saying I was a perfect candidate. Few weeks later my vision was blurry again. I was told I needed to adjust to it. Next appointment was 3 to 6 months-ish after. My vision reverted back to my original prescription. I will say I was having worsening vision due to health conditions, and it stopped that, but a decade later I'm still wearing glasses and wasted thousands of dollars. Recovery kinda sucked ass too since I had a lot of other contributing factors that made me heal slower. I didn't LASIK but got ICL. Didn't qualify for LASIK, pity cause it's half the cost. It set me back $11K, had it done on a Friday and was back to work on the Monday. Was super sensitive to light for like the first week, then it got a bit easier. I currently have better than 20/20 vision. I don't have any difference with close-up. 100% worth the cost for not having to deal with contacts or glasses anymore. Best decision. I had it done 3 years ago and wish I'd done it sooner. Cost was $5,000, procedure was pain-free and took 10 minutes. I did suffer from dry eyes for 3 months after, but they warn you of that beforehand. It's so freeing to not have to worry about taking glasses, contacts everywhere you travel. Would recommend thumbs up. My dad got it and said it was the best thing he ever did. However, husband's stepsister had it done and has essentially gone blind as a result. It started out with severe halos at night and got progressively worse. From my understanding her situation is rare. I had LASIK 17 years ago. I regret it. When I got the surgery I was told I would need reading glasses. I didn't think it would be a big deal. It is. I can't read my phone, a menu, a book, etc. I was better off not seeing distance. Having to have those little glasses on hand is awful. Now I'm starting to not see distance. My eye doctor told me because I was better than 20/20 and I'm having a hard time adjusting to regular 20/20. I wish I would have left things alone and wore contacts. I got LASIK approximately 5 years ago. It cost me around $5,000. The procedure used tracking lasers, no blade, and was over in a minute. I always tell people it was the best money I ever spent. I haven't had any issues and recovery was a day of sleep. I love being able to wake up and see. I had LASIK 6 weeks ago and it's been great. I paid $3,500. I still get a little dryness, mostly if I've been staring at my computer or in offices with AC. I still have some swelling, so my vision isn't as crisp as it will be and I still have some halos around bright lights, but I can read the lines at 20/12 vision. I still try to adjust my glasses sometimes, but it's going well. It was a miracle. I had terrible vision, -6.5 in both eyes. I had LASIK over the Easter long weekend, procedure on Friday and back at work on Tuesday. The worst part is how dry your eyes are immediately after, you can barely open them. But you have your drops, and you just take a nap afterwards and then like a miracle you wake up and can see. It was the best thing I have ever done for myself. Had LASIK surgery in 1999. I have one of the frequent, halo, side effects, which greatly diminishes my ability to navigate at night with lights shining into my eyes. Driving at night with rain is really difficult. But I can easily work around that. My right eye is deteriorating again, but I still don't need new surgery or glasses for it. The cost wasn't covered by my health insurance, but it was definitely worth it. The first evening after the medication wore off was brutal, it hurt a lot. I was back at work the next day, though, without problems. I had LASIK 20 years ago. It was a must for me because I developed an allergy to my contact lenses and couldn't wear glasses without warped vision due to my astigmatism. I paid $850 per eye, dirt cheap even back then, and had amazing results, 20/15 vision. To be expected, about 3 years ago my vision naturally started to change and I needed corrective lenses again. I now wear glasses for distance vision once again. I'm no longer a candidate for contact lenses. I don't regret it at all. It was definitely worth 17 years of perfect vision. 7 years ago I went from saying nothing but blurs on my left eye and a deformed and scarred corneal with bad vision on my right eye to 120% eyesight. All thanks to LASIK surgery. Cost was €2,000 all inclusive. The pain was gone the day after surgery and the whole process was more than worth its money. Several appointments before and after to make sure everything goes as intended. The quality of life added feels worth $1 million. I had contact lenses before that and I am so very happy I decided to do LASIK. Today my vision is still 120%. No pain, no dryness. Had it done about 2 years ago. Best decision ever. There's a LASIK subreddit that I went to constantly that helped me. I had PRK done. One of the potential risks of LASIK was if you got punched in the face it could mess up the recovery of your eyes. Since I worked in a residential facility with kids on the spectrum who became aggressive, I had to go with PRK. The second day after the surgery, it was painful and felt like I was wearing contacts inside out all day. But I really just slept all day and it was okay. For the next week, I was not able to see or wear glasses because they put a protective contact lens on to start the healing process. After the first week of constant eye drops, I went for the follow-up to take out those contacts and could see perfectly with 20/10 vision. I would highly recommend to anyone. But of course, LASIK is probably easier as you get results quicker. My life has changed so much from LASIK. Best $3,000 I've ever spent. I just had it done last month. It was great. I was nervous before and all, but the procedure was a breeze. It felt like 5 minutes. The recovery was painless for me. My eyes were just a little dry for a week and I've never had an issue since. I paid $4,000 Canadian in January and it was the best thing I've ever done. It's like I never needed glasses. No downsides for me. You might want to investigate refractive lens exchange. I had LASIK 22 years ago. Unfortunately, when I turned 45, I started to need reading glasses. I had RLE in one eye and I now have 20/20 monovision. One eye is used for reading and the other for distance. I'm from India. I got EPI LASIK done last month. I paid 40,000 rupees, which is approximately $540. The first 2 days my eyes were heavy and it was quite painful, so I didn't do much. But as days passed by I could see clearly and I couldn't believe that I did not need glasses. All that pain is actually worth it. I had it in 2017. Was a great decision for me. I had been in glasses contacts since age 11. It's amazing having 20/20 vision after being extremely nearsighted. The only side effect I've experienced is that my eyes are more dry than before. I'll occasionally have to use artificial tears when they are particularly dry. LASIK has greatly improved my quality of life. 2 years ago I had both eyes lasered for around €2,500. 2 days later I was able to work normally again and had no problems with dry eyes. The doctor didn't quite manage full 20/20 vision, but I feel comfortable like that and have a small buffer for presbyopia. Best decision of my life. Edit. I forgot about the light sensitivity for some days. But now, I love the clarity of the lights. Before they were always blurry, even with lenses glasses. I had PRK done last year. The recovery time is a bit longer with PRK than it is with LASIK. I was out of work for a week and the first 3 days were brutal, a lot of discomfort. The recovery time for LASIK is 2 to 3 days. My sibling had it done. I paid about $6,000. PRK is also more expensive than LASIK. To date, I suffer from occasional dry eyes but my vision is perfect. I honestly think it was the best decision I've ever made. Before LASIK I had a power of -6 in one eye and -5.5 in the other. Now I'm 20/20. Experience was painless and very quick. Paid around $1,000, one of the few perks of living in a third-world country, for the most advanced tech available. There were options costing around $500 also. Post-surgery, I used to look for my glasses right after waking up cause that's what I had been doing for last 20 years. I appreciate it most when I'm working out or doing something outdoorsy. Earlier, my girlfriend used to remove the glasses during sexy times to tease me. Now I see her very clearly and it made sex so much better. LASIK does not work in my prescription. I need the ICL. Has somebody experience with that? It's a hell yeah from me. Got it almost 15 years ago, before joining the Coast Guard. I didn't want to be fumbling with contacts in the middle of the night in an emergency. Zero regrets. Even though it was way more expensive then, around $5,000, it's paid for itself a few times over in contact solution alone. I have never had it, but my mother has, and for the first 2 or 3 years she loved it. But about a year ago she started needing to use little non-prescription reading glasses, and she seems to need them more and more now. To me it just seems like a huge amount of money on something that is possibly not permanent or even long term. Just my 2 cents. Smile.